Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. It's the 30th. It's January. It's 2026, and I am back. And that I am back because of the help from several serious subscribers, including the Morgan Report, my buddy Brett, and several other people that decided that I needed to be on the internet more than I needed to not be on the internet. And I got to tell you, having my truck fail, having my mountain bike fail, then having my laptop fail, one after the other, pretty much took the wind out of my sails. And I'm thinking, what's the point? What's the difference, you know? Seriously, every time I turn around, something's failing. But I guess that's not the plan for me as of right now. And we're going to cover several things in this video because I have fallen behind. Let me see if I can remember what it is I wanted to make a video about in the first place. Well, how about this? Due to the current climate in the United States, here's what's going on. Trump and all his billionaire buddies all bought in because they all bought in for the right to completely rob and pillage the United States before they burn it to the ground, straight up. So, again, last call for alcohol. If you can, get your money out of the bank. And here, fortunately enough, was an email I got this morning. It's from Darcy, and she said, "Hello, Richie. For anyone still on the fence about buying gold and silver from 𝗏𝗏𝗋, I wanted to provide an update on my investment that I made back in 2022. I took part of my 401k and bought gold and silver collector coins at retail. You don't need to go with the collectibles if you choose not to. They work with the 401k company to move the money out and purchase the coins without having to pay an early withdrawal or tax penalty. And I was still employed at the time and was not retired yet. As of today, my investment has nearly doubled at just the spot value, which doesn't even include the significant bump for collectability. The increase has been off the chain in the past month and is expected to go much higher in the near future. It's unbelievable. 𝗏𝗏𝗋 also has a buyback program after you hold the coins for 5 years or more, which is based on the higher retail value and not spot. So that's another benefit. They pay you what the coins are worth, not what you paid for them. I'm so happy I took your advice back then because it's going to the moon. May God the Father continue to watch over you as you travel. In Jesus' name, smiley face, Darcy." Darcy's a smart girl, and I've gotten a lot of those from people that I've talked to face to face. And if you want to send an email telling me about your experience with 𝗏𝗏𝗋, rjcjr10@yahoo.com. If you want to send me YouTube links to videos I didn't ask for, please don't. Please don't. I have too much going on, and I want to stay on track. They are burning the country down right now from the inside out. They're looting, pillaging, they're stealing all the property, the land, the minerals, the oil, everything they can. And now, because of the protests in Iran, warships are moving to Iran quickly because nothing Trump hates more than people protesting in a country. Or does he? Didn't he actually ask the people in Iran to continue protesting, yet we have them back home and people are getting killed? Well, there's a fun part to that entire story. I took another look at the Economist cover, and things make a little more sense now. This right here would be the protesters, if I had to guess, okay? And here's something else that's really odd. I didn't notice this the first time around, but on the old Greek or whatever ship that is, they're shooting a hypersonic missile. Do you see it? The reason you can tell it's a hypersonic missile is because the cargo ship from China has cannons hidden on it, as well as hypersonic missiles, which I've already shown you. Those are real. That is really going down right now. They want to push a virus, but I don't think people ain't going to go for it. You know what I'm saying? And for all those people that think they could do viruses any other way other than injecting you, they would have done it by now. They can't. They have to inject you. It's either A, your body gets sick. Somebody left a comment in one of my videos a couple of weeks ago and said, "I work in a jail facility and everybody got sick really bad with COVID." Well, here's the fun part. When anybody gets sick in jail, usually it's something bad that's in the jail that isn't a germ per se. It's a mold or things to that effect. How do I know? Because I've been in jail. You know what I'm saying? Things like that spread. You can't get a virus unless somebody injects it, which is why they tried to mandate them, which is why they were paying people. They were swapping hamburgers. They were swapping donuts. We'll give you anything. Just please take the shot. And too many people didn't. I haven't been sick since before COVID. I used to get the flu every year. You know what I mean? But maybe it's because I eat a lot healthier now and I drink tons and tons of nothing but purified water. Period. That's all I drink. Ever. At all. At any rate, this tragically just happened.
News now, just into our CNN newsroom, we are learning journalist, former colleague of ours, former CNN anchor, Don Lemon, has been taken into custody.
You called for Don Lemon's arrest over his church stunt in Minneapolis. He's since called you racist, unhinged, homophobic, and out of your depth. Anything you'd like to say to Don Lemon?
Sucker, stop. Think about the countries where journalists are targeted by the federal government, by their governments, Russia, China, Turkey. They're not democracies. This kind of thing, it's a shot across the bow, right, towards the free press. And it's scary.
This is something that some MAGA loyalists have been demanding. They've been wanting to see it happen. When Trump promised retribution, this is the kind of retribution that some of his voters, not all, but some of his voters, wanted to see.
This is what matters, is that Lemon says, and we will see if it is the truth, but Lemon says he was acting as a journalist. He was not participating in the protest. He was covering the protest. If that's the case. That is indeed a chilling moment here for a journalist in the United States of America doing his job as a journalist and being charged for it.
Don Lemon does not have the protection of a network behind him. He does not work for a major corporation. He is lacking that infrastructure and support right now, which makes him a very convenient and easy first target for a Department of Justice that wants to put journalists in fear of doing our job.
But again, he's acting as a journalist. What matters here is he was being a journalist who was doing his job and has now been arrested for doing his job.
Said he made you perform oral sex.
Right.
You know, there are ways not to perform oral sex if you want to do it. Meaning the using of the teeth, right?
Yes, that's what I'm thinking. I didn't even think of it.
I had to ask.
Noah says, what else can you think about? Black hole, Bermuda Triangle. And then Deji says, just like the movie Lost. And of course, they're also referencing the Twilight Zone, which has a very similar plot. That's what people are saying. I know it's preposterous, but is it preposterous, you think, Mary?
A small black hole would suck in our entire universe, so we know it's not that. Bermuda Triangle is often weather, and Lost is a TV show.
I hate Don Lemon, by the way, but
he
first thing he does...
One of the dumbest motherfuckers that has ever gotten on television.
He's terrible.
Paris, what do you think?
I think this is fake news. This is not a news story.
Okay, Paris, hold on. Let me ask you this.
No.
Let me ask you. I'm going to let you finish. I'm going to let you finish. Do you actually know what the definition of fake news is?
What we're doing right now.
No, okay. Well,
because
then you are part of the fake news because you are on the network and you're part of the...
No.
Fake news is when you... Hang on, let me explain to people out there watching and you what fake news is. Fake news is when you put out a story to intentionally deceive someone and you know that it is wrong.
A semi-automatic weapon is a gun that you and I are allowed to own, and in different places they have different rules. But to imply that anyone can walk out and buy an automatic weepon is just not true, Don.
I think most people can go out and buy an automatic weapon.
Don, what is your definition of an automatic weapon?
Well, for me, an automatic weapon is something that you can shoot off a number of rounds very quickly. I was able to buy an AR-15 within 20 minutes in a state of which that I'm not a...
You don't know, in all due respect, you don't know what you're talking about. An automatic weapon is when you pull the trigger one time and it continually shoots off, one after another after another. A semi-automatic weapon,
I can do that with my AR-15.
So, Don Lemon, the worst news person ever on the completely owned and operated by the elites media, because the media is owned Remember the old days? We'd say, look at this, 6 corporations own everything. Well, now it's down to like 2. And one of them is called Israel and the other one's called Mossad. Because that's where we're at right now. It's completely laughable, but it's hilarious. Don Lemon is a journalist. Don Lemon is some dude that used to be on CNN and got disgraced, got fired, doesn't work there anymore. He got arrested. Unbelievable. The chilling effect. How come nobody mentions the 500 actual real journalists and aid workers that have been killed in Israel? Because remember, that genocide's still going on right now. Right now. Yep, still going on. Friday, the 1st of January, 2026, and that thing still goes on while they distract us left, right, and right down the center. It's unbelievable, but that's the problem. But we have to go send warships. Israel and America are surrounding Iran right now so they can steal all the oil. That's all it's about, period. They're stealing everything they can, and I believe there's a little bit of a battle going on on who's going to be the top dog under Satan in the New World Order. Because all these people have massive egos, but I was just saying to a friend a few minutes ago that we discounted Trump the first time around. We didn't realize he held as much power as he does, but he does. Bringing up MAGA, bringing up the one word that means magician in every language, top sorcerer. MAGA is the top priest in the Satanic Church, period. He's got a lot more juice than we thought he did. It's unbelievable. And the fact that his son, Barron, the one that the book was written about in 1901, that was eerily similar to what's going on today, also happens to be 6'9". 6'9", dude. That's a big dude, man, I don't know what's going on here, but it's crazy. But there's protests going on in Iran so quickly we have to send all of our military muscle there right away, right after we just stole a president from another country, which completely breaks all the laws, even after Trump just literally got the entire other side of the earth on paper. This is all political theater, okay, to explain the massive crash that's coming, to turn their backs on us, even though Trump just started his own NATO, a smaller version of NATO that nobody really cares about, but still mixing the pot, stirring the pot, because he knows he's the last president. Remember that. He is the last president. Act accordingly. This is what's going on in America.
I've been putting videos together on smash and grabs for over 5 years now, and I have to say, these smashers sure don't seem to be slowed or deterred at all. I mean, look how many people are here. This is unreal. And they know they're unlikely to face any real consequence, even if they get caught. As much as I'm with this small group protesting for somebody to finally do something, I simply wouldn't hold my breath.
What appears to be a well-choreographed attack as a car backs into Kim Hung Jewelry Friday afternoon and more than 15 people jump out of 3 vehicles. This is what it looked like inside the store as thieves wearing hoodies, masks, and caps smash glass cases and snatch jewelry. At one point, a suspect pushes down the 88-year-old store owner and he cuts his feet on broken glass.
They may be heartless psychopaths, but the next example shows they're also pretty damn stupid.
An SUV crashes through the front door at Classic Jewelers in Anaheim. A group of robbers in hoodies, masks, and gloves go to town on their display cases, cracking them open with crowbars and hammers, and tossing between $750,000 to $1 million worth of jewelry into trash cans.
They ran to me, grabbed my gun, so my life flashed before my eyes.
Now, I'd like to make fun of that guy because when you saw them smashing a car through the store, you didn't think anything was awry. When you saw people getting out of the car, you didn't think to grab your gun that apparently you already had on you because they came up to you and took your gun from you. I'd like to make fun of him for that, and I am. I'm making fun of him for that because that's just super gay, and it's kind of written all over the whole situation. But in his defense, if that's in California, chances are if he actually protected his business, his family, his property, his life by shooting one of these fine young people, he'd probably go to jail where they won't be. Because that's America. But we're sending ships to Iran because they're yelling at protesters or whatever the newest excuse is. Iran's been on the list since I've been on YouTube, and it's time, at any rate.
Within 2 minutes, police say the suspects hopped into 2 different getaway cars and sped off.
Ran after them, got the license plates on the cars.
But Karma got them quick.
Both cars headed west, and according to Anaheim PD, both crashed in 2 separate locations in Fullerton, 9 and 11 miles away from the jewelry store. Neither car was being pursued by police at the time.
Once they left the store, all they had to do was not do this. And they couldn't do it. Both cars crashed, IQ in the single digits.
You can see this Jeep SUV pull up to the store here on North Broadway on Saturday, where 5 people get out. They break in the front door, and if you look closely, you'll see a chain on the bottom there connected to that Jeep's trunk to an ATM inside the store. Well, the thieves then drive off, dragging the machine through the door and windows. In a community alert, police say at least 11 businesses have been hit just this month.
You would think that 11 businesses in a month would prompt action, right? Just insane.
There's new video tonight showing the takedown of an elite burglary ring they called the Shade Snatchers. The LAPD says the crew targeted high-end optical retailers and luxury boutiques all over Southern California. They'd steal SUVs or pickup trucks and crash them through the storefront and then ransack the store.
The Shade Snatchers. So cool, bros. So not only are they destroying businesses and stealing, but they're stealing people's cars too. But the days pass and the years pass and nothing happens.
So our country is intentionally going down the crapper right now. Well, actually, our country has gone down the crapper. Have you ever traveled the country to the extent that I have? I've seen a lot of people. I've met a lot of people. Because of this YouTube platform for the last 18, 17 years, I've garnered friendships with a lot of people that I considered way out of my pay range. People that work at NASA, DOD, people that work at ICE, people that work in law enforcement, people that work in special forces, people on the other side of the line. And for the most part, I have to keep everything confidential unless I'm allowed to, which is a very rare thing because nobody wants to lose their job, but they do want to get the word out in one way or the other. And the word that I get always backs up the activities that we see. For instance, Minneapolis is off the hook right now, and it's going to get worse. I don't know why Minneapolis was targeted right off the bat, but I do know what targeted Minneapolis, and it was Nick Shirley, a YouTuber I met last year at the Texas border when allegedly Border Patrol and the National Guard were in a standoff, and I went there on my own and discovered that that was not the case whatsoever at all. But I met Nick Shirley, and he was a new YouTuber, and then suddenly he's in Congress. Suddenly he's discovering this unbelievable misappropriation of funds by Somalian people in Minneapolis that nobody knew about. He goes there, next thing you know, we have what's happening now, which is utterly insane, and it's all by design because Nick Shirley is an asset, whether he's aware of it or not. I'm sure he is aware of it because his mother is his handler. I've used Nick Shirley's things before, but I didn't see the forest for the trees, but now I do. And I already called him out before this even went down. Nick Shirley is from Utah. Utah is the prime place for alphabet agencies to go and recruit. They got Nick Shirley there because to go after Somalia is a good thing because Israel wants to send all the people that they don't wipe off the face of the earth in Gaza to a place in Somalia called Somaliland. Because Israel, Gaza, Somali, it's all the same, right? Right? Does that make sense? Well, this is the result. This is the result of what's happening. Whether pretty and good, pretty good, were both shot and killed is debatable. We don't know for a fact. We can't prove it. And with the advent of AI, we can't trust what we're seeing. But the story is they were both killed, and the story from the government was it was completely legit. So people are seeing what they're seeing, and then they're hearing what they're hearing, and they're going, the government's lying. So we should strap up. You're playing directly into their hands. They need us to kill each other, period. It's part of the great experiment of the United States. It's part of it. I'm telling you. And this is what's going on with the, I guess, liberals you call them. Soy boys, crybaby pussies or whatever. But now they're getting guns.
If every law you don't like is tyranny, congratulations, you just turned the Second Amendment into a feelings-based policy. There's a clip going around of a guy saying he's liberal, watched ICE enforcement videos, bought his first AR-15, and decided this is what the Second Amendment is for. Let's play it.
I'm generally a pretty liberal person, but when I saw videos of ICE jumping out of unmarked vehicles and nabbing people off the street, that's when I actually bought my first AR-15. So I'm pretty new to this, but the Second Amendment's for all of us. And now I'm seeing videos of Black Panthers out in Minneapolis, chasing down ICE and other police and stuff. I think that's what it's all about. We're facing tyranny right now, and I want to be prepared for if that stuff comes to my neighborhood.
What have you sort of thought about it? I've seen the same videos you're talking about. I've seen some of the stuff in person that you're kind of talking about. I've seen some people on the right wing take issue when the left arms up.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, the amendments to the Constitution are for everybody. We're all American. We all have those rights, and we should all be using them. That's my opinion on it.
So the white liberal guy bought his first AR-15 after seeing armed Black Panthers chasing ICE, and that's the way to go. That's what he's going to do. So what he just basically said on YouTube for everyone to hear is that I got a gun so I can chase down ICE and shoot at them. I mean, it's playing directly into the hands. For all we know, this fat liberal soy boy kid could be part of the government. Who knows? Who knows at this point? So much is blurred right now. But this is what I've been doing for the last several days, because I haven't been making good videos, but this is what I've been doing, just to give you an idea of where I was at and what I was up to. This is Snoopy. Snoopy's big. Snoopy's a big boy. He's a big head. And he's surrounded by bones. He's a big gator. Ooh. Gotta keep an eye on him. He could flip in a minute if he gets the energy reserves. The only reason I can get this close is because he is cold. He's cold. That's Snoop. See, I used to be a dinosaur. No, you weren't. Shut up, Snoopy. Stop lying. This is what it sounds like when a great horned owl lands on your tent. He's right on the tent. In the Everglades. Well, if you guessed it, you guessed right. I went to Alligator Alcatraz. I didn't try to get in because there's cruisers, police cars sitting at the very entrance, as well as lots of flock technology and all sorts of other cameras. But what I did was linger because I have a couple of subscribers, apparently, that work for ICE. And, well, I'll tell you what they said in a minute. I don't know what's going on here, but there are cops all over the place on both sides of the highway. Absolutely everywhere. Pulling into the rest stop. Oh, it might be ICE bringing in immigrants to Alligator Alcatraz. That might be what it is. So I'm parked at a truck stop waiting to meet up with these people if they even show up whatsoever at all, that either worked for or work for ICE. I can't say whether one way or the other. I'm not going to say. I'm parked at a rest stop and magically 6 police cars come down. Lights, wailers on in the middle of traffic, and in the middle of the whole thing is an ICE bus going to Alligator Alcatraz. Now, I spoke to a couple of guys that work there and a young lady that works there. And after the second shooting, the pretty good shootings, first they shot good, and then the second one was pretty, so it was pretty good. After that shooting, they all had a debriefing, and they all expected that they were going to be told, you need to tone it down. And that's not what they were told at all. They're going to amp it up. That's why the government has their back no matter what. You see what you see? No, you didn't. That's not real at all. There's nothing to see here. The country's doing well. The government's doing exponentially. So be ready. So for all the idiots that want to go online and say that they're going to shoot ICE or chase ICE around with AR-15s, perfect. You're playing directly into their game. And speaking of game, somebody wants to be the boss here because suddenly gold and silver are being held down. Gold and silver going up means the dollar's going down. Somebody's trying to reel it in a little bit, one way or the other. You got to imagine that whoever's going to be Satan's Antichrist, I guess, they need to, they've got huge egos. So these guys are battling right now, and it's going to spill out into the, not even the streets, but into the countries, the states, the regions, the nations. We're in crazy times right now. I told you, this is it. This was only month 1. Wait till you see what February's got. Because remember the orders I got from the DOD about the 2 orders of 30,000 hunter-killer drones for the United States? Well, that starts this month, February. At any rate, Richie from Boston. Live your life like it's your last day. One of these days you'll be right. I'm out.